Hello and welcome to Easy Like a Sunday Morn. I'm your host, Shane Lockwood, and this is episode 44. It is the 22nd of March 2015, and this is a bit of a live broadcast as opposed to the normal pre-recorded stuff that I normally do. This is a podcast that is not about fast talking, it's not about the hard sell, it's about giving you 30 minutes out of every week to just sit back and relax and unwind and maybe learn something at the same time. You're going to be planning for the rest of the week and maybe let go of the garbage of what happened during last week, and we're just going to relax a bit. It's Sunday morning. You may have things to do in the afternoon, but that's not now. Give yourself 30 minutes and we'll get into the show. I want to apologise for the delay between episodes. There have been a few people who really have been requesting the show, and they look forward to it every week, and I acknowledge that, and I know that I'm letting you down. And not only that, I've been promising. I've been saying, oh look, the next episode is going to be the best ever, etc., etc., because I was accumulating information, and there's quite a lot to go through with this particular show, so we're going to get through it fairly quickly. Yeah, I've called this the Boy Who Cried podcast because I've been saying, look, next week will be the best, next week will be the best, and then nothing happened. There's no real excuses for that. My sleeping cycle's been thrown off, and then I found that I couldn't record because you had neighbours playing the same music over and over again through the wall, and it's all copyright, and just dramas and things I've had to deal with. But you don't want to hear about that. I've wasted 2 minutes of 30 of your time already. But I do want to thank everybody who has requested episodes, has requested me to continue doing this, the people that look forward to doing this each and every week. It's a bit of a treat. And I do want this show to be part of your weekly ritual. And that means that I need to be a little bit more consistent, and also it means being a little bit more honest with you. Not that I was ever dishonest. It means making a commitment. So right now, because of technical issues, I'm recording this live. So there's a few people that will hear this on Spreaker before it goes to YouTube and things like that. And it takes a bit of wrangling to get this over to YouTube. If it's a live show, if I've pre-recorded it, it goes straight to YouTube, no worries. So thank you for listening and tuning in, and leave comments and things like that in the comment section on Twitter. That's SHAIDO at Twitter. You can do that, and I'll reply to every tweet and email. You can email me at shane_lockwood@hotmail.com. You can send PayPal and funding and things like that through that as well. But I'll deal with that at the end of the show. Okay. First up, don't hesitate. If I miss an episode, get on me. Don't hesitate. Nag me until I do it, because I'll forget, or if I don't get the feedback, then I don't know that you guys like the show. Thank you for those who are listening to the show through iHeartRadio and various other apps and things like that. I've tried to spread the podcast as wide as I possibly can, and I'm talking really fast because I've 5 minutes in, I haven't even started. How awesome is that? So do nag me, do give me feedback, etc., etc. Straight off the top of the thing, this is how long ago this was. I wanted to say rest in peace to Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock from Star Trek, and he starred in a show called In Search of, and he's did quite a lot of work actually in television, but he's mostly known for Star Trek and In Search Of. He'll be missed and not forgotten. He was sent to hospital with chest pains, and unfortunately he didn't come out of hospital. He was 84 years old, so rest in peace, Mr. Nimoy, and I was a big fan, really. I think most of us were. Last week, which would have been a podcast and would have been a bit more appropriate, was Pi Day. It was the third month of the year. It was the 14th day of the third month, 2015. So you had 3 in the Australian calendar, and the British calendar you would have had 3.14.15, and then you could have had it like 9:26 a.m. or something like that. So it's 3.14159265, and it goes on and on and on. That's pi, P-I. It's also the radius of a circle, and it goes on forever, strangely enough. Yeah, the neighbour was playing various songs throughout the week, and the funny thing is that I mentioned this on Facebook a while back, and he played the same song 5 days in a row, and it was Suicide is Painless by, I can't remember the artist, but it's the theme tune to MASH, and MASH is like that military comedy show, but with like a serious edge to it, sort of thing. But yeah, and I'd made a comment saying on Facebook saying, do you think he's trying to suggest something to me that maybe I should commit suicide? Anyway, everybody who read that status thought that he was suicidal because of the song had the word suicide in it. It's just the theme tune to MASH. That's just the name of the song. It's called Suicide is Painless. You can Google it. And it's probably one of the worst songs ever written. And but the tune was catchy. And so therefore the guy would have gotten huge royalties for every time that gets played on network television and around the world on DVD box sets and you name it. You know, it's that little song that could. The lyrics are terrible. What else is it? Oh, that was the other thing. One of the reasons why I hadn't been online was, with this podcast, was I thought I was being trolled, and I wasn't. However, the reason, I have to explain. About 7 months ago, I had somebody attack this podcast, and they'd done a couple of videos that are still up, still available to listen, and they were making the fun of the fact that when I had interviewed Raggy Ragsdale, the podcast had gone, I said viral. Viral in relative terms, in the fact that I've got a core group of listeners, but it went outside of that range. It was picked up by an atheist on an atheist group on Reddit, and they pinned it there, and so a whole heap of atheists and things like that were listening to the podcast. So it shot up the charts. It went relatively viral, right? It didn't have millions of listeners, but it did okay, right? Because I think on Spreaker it registered as like 100 listens, and on YouTube it was like 57 listens or 57 views, right? Now that's fairly okay for like a video, especially a podcast, like a video without any visual aspect to it. On YouTube, you've got to be really, really popular to get anywhere with just a straight audio on YouTube, right? And it did really well. I went through really well through the Stitcher charts, but this guy looked at the views and went, 57 views, that's not viral. And he's decided to do like this crazy warped puppet show. Like, this guy's mental, right? And what triggered me recently was because YouTube has got this thing where if you block somebody, they are not removed from your subscribers list. So I don't know whether they can still watch your videos or what the story is, right? I blocked somebody from my channel before, and I was still in their subscriber list when they uploaded a video. So I unsubscribed to that guy. But the fact that anybody could still watch your videos after you've blocked them is really, really disconcerting, and YouTube needs to fix their problem. But anyway, there's a thing, I don't know what's going on. People like Mums the Witch, you may know her. It would come up with her being subscribed only 2 weeks ago. And then like 2 weeks before that, her subscribing again. Now I spoke to her and she hasn't adjusted the subscription. She hasn't been unsubscribing to my channel and then subscribing again. It's just a glitch within the YouTube system. But the reason I checked who my subscribers were, and the way to do that, you go through your video creator, the creating thing. I'll have another look. It's the Creator Studio. You go through the Creator Studio and then you click on Community over on the left, and you will see like comments, messages, subscribers. So you click on subscribers, right? Because I'd gained a few subscribers, right? So the numbers have gone up, but it's not showing me who a lot of these people are. But it's showing me a week ago, and that's inaccurate, that this troll had resubscribed to my channel. Now, for somebody that had been blocked, that's highly suspicious, don't you think? Yeah, so... But anyway, like that, the fact that I've blocked him and he's still visible in my subscriber list is a bit of cause of concern, wouldn't you think? But anyway, that's YouTube, and this is live, and I'm 12 minutes in. Anyway, I'm nowhere near where I need to be. Let's see. Yes, I wasn't being trolled, so there'll be plenty more podcasts to come. Let's see, Miss Crit. If you don't know who she is, she's on YouTube. She hasn't uploaded a video in a while. Anyway, she flew over to Vanuatu, which is a series of small islands just off Australia, just off the east, I think above New Zealand, below Hawaii, somewhere around there. You'll have to Google that. And by the way, if you are a regular listener to this program, you will have Google open to research things like that, just to double check to make sure that I'm on the up and up with the stories and things that I report. Anyway, Miss Crit went to Vanuatu and all was perfectly fine. Next thing you know, there's a massive cyclone goes through the area. Cyclone Pam, and it killed quite a few people. It knocked down power lines, and she was without any form of internet for a good 24 hours. And you can imagine everybody's pouring out support and love and everything on Facebook. But I'm pleased to report that she is fine and well and back in Australia. And she's updating Facebook and giving people messages and all the rest of it. So congratulations to Miss Crit. And it's spelt MISSKRITT. Please go over and subscribe to her channel and then tell her that I sent you. That would be great. Speaking of cyclones, there is a Cyclone Nathan in the Northern Territory right now. So do if you're in the Northern Territory, do stay safe, etc., etc. Follow all the safety warnings. If you need to evacuate, don't be stupid. Evacuate. Pack your car. Get all your valuables, family photos, and all the rest of it. The essential government documents and all that. In Meme Busters today, there is a bit of a difficult one, and this is one I'm not going to bust. I think this is one that I busted earlier, a few weeks ago, but some new information has come to light, and it's thrown me for a bit of a loop. The story is that apparently people had been finding strange markings on their fences, right? Whether it's like a pink dot of chalk, or whether it's like a bit of white paint or something or other. Bits of string and whatever. The story is that apparently people had been marking the fences of homes that had dogs so that thieves could either avoid this house because they've got dogs, or so they could steal the dogs for dog fighting rings. And this was debunked on Snopes, Snopes.com, SNOPES.com. It's a brilliant website to check on hoaxes and things like that, right? It's great for searching stuff. And very often, if someone posts something on Facebook, you'll find, and this is hilarious, they'll post something on Facebook, and then underneath, Facebook will say, "Oh, here's a series of related articles," and the very first related article will be Snopes debunking whatever it is that they're talking about. So Snopes has debunked this story. Anyway, it refuses to go away, and of course, like all good stories, they change. They change the details, they change the colour of the paint, or they change the colour of the dot, or they change whatever. They say, "Oh, well, it's not dog fighting rings, the people are still trying to steal dogs," or whatever. Anyway, so I say, well, look, this has been debunked on Snopes, whatever. And someone said, no, this was on Channel 9 News. And despite what you may think, Channel 9 News has a fair bit of credibility. Well, as far as I know. It's owned by Rupert Murdoch, so like how unbiased could it be? But all news outlets are going to have a certain level of fear-mongering and things like that, but I don't know. What do I make of this? This was debunked on Snopes, but the mainstream news are reporting it as true. So I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. You can leave comments and things like that, and in the Twitter address and stuff like that. What do you think? Have you heard of it going on in your country? People marking fences to let other people know that there's dogs there that they can steal for dog fighting rings. I don't know. Why would you go to that trouble? If you can get close enough to somebody's house to mark it, why wouldn't you just steal the dog? It doesn't make sense to me at all. But anyway, that's the thing. Now, what I wanted to do... 20 minutes in. What I wanted to do very quickly, in health news, this is something I'm going to debunk. Apparently, omega-3 capsules, I found this out recently, omega-3 capsules are often rancid on the shelf because they're a form of like fat, like it's omega-3 fatty acids, right? They are often rancid on the shelf. So check the use by dates and things like that. But omega-3 acids don't do anything they do stuff in the body, but they're not designed to work in the body if they're isolated by themselves. It's rather pointless. If you need omega-3 eat fish. That's the best source of omega-3. It's going to be concentrated. It's better for your body. There's other things that your body needs from fish. Just get fish. It's cheaper. The fats, the omega-3 acids are fresh. You don't need to worry about it going rancid on the shelf. Just eat fish. And let's see. They tested a whole heap of things like ginkgo biloba, and they found that it didn't have any of the ingredients marked on the bottle. So I think, like ginkgo biloba on the bottle, they found contained asparagus, rice, and spruce. Spruce is the name of a house plant. So you just be aware that when you're buying some of these dietary supplements, very often they don't have any real effect. But just make sure that what's on the label is in the bottle. Echinacea doesn't fix colds, and St. John's wort doesn't help with depression. What else? Yeah, it was 4 out of 5 dietary supplements don't have any effect whatsoever. And that's from a chemist. I've got getting a lot of this information from chemists. And hang on, I've missed bits and pieces. But and some of the ginkgo biloba, they've got remnants of peanuts in them. So if you've got a peanut allergy, you think, I'll just take this ginkgo biloba because it's not peanuts, so I'm not going to die from it. Careful, will have traces of peanuts and stuff in it. So it's very often not what's on the label at all, because you've got scam artists and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So do be careful. That was the other thing I was thinking about before. The fact that within the same podcast that I was listening to that had this information, they were talking about how plant evolution and things like that. Now, and pesticides and things like that. A lot of people are scared of pesticides in foods and stuff like that. But plants have natural pesticides in them. They're designed to keep away ants and a few other bugs and things like that. Now, what scientists are doing are saying, okay, we've got this natural pesticide, right, that's genetically found in one plant. So a certain bug or caterpillar won't eat these plants because this pesticide doesn't like a certain chemical within a certain plant, but it might like another kind of plant, right? A plant that we grow, a plant that we need. So what scientists are doing is, okay, we'll fuse that gene sequence that has that pesticide flavor or whatever, and then we'll put that into a plant that we need. So you were you're basically boosting the immune system of a plant that's currently being attacked by a certain predator, a certain bug or whatever. And a lot of people think, that's not right and things like that, but it's still perfectly safe. It's still, because it's something that's grown naturally and then just fused with something else that's natural. It's just moving it around a bit. And it made me think that a lot of the foods that we eat aren't designed for us to eat them. A lot of the stuff in its wild state is very, how can you put it, very sour, it's very bitter tasting, and that's an evolutionary adaptation so that plants don't get eaten. Okay, now when you go to the supermarket, you think, well, hang on, there's all these vegetables and plants that I can eat, fruits and stuff like that. That's because we've selected the best of those vegetables and bred out all the bitterness. So you can go to your grocery store, you can pick up some celery, for example, right? You come home, you wash it, and you can chop that up and you can eat that. You can eat it raw because it's not bitter. Now, parts of the celery will be bitter towards the base and some of the leaves, but the middle part isn't, because we've selected the best celery. Same with corn, same with, like, you name it, right? We've selected the best. Now, fruit, on the other hand, is designed by evolution to be eaten, okay, so that the seeds propagate and spread. It's a very clever thing that evolution's come up with plants and things like that. And I don't know how it works exactly. I'm not a scientist by any means. But I will have links, I think, to that, where I've got the information down below. 26 minutes in, my throat's very dry. What I'm going to do very quickly is mention that what I'm going to be doing is producing more episodes of this podcast, but what I'm going to be doing is they're going to be for Patreon subscribers only. Now, you'll still get this show, the free show, every week, now that I know that I'm not being trolled. But if you want to find out more about this other extended show, it will be at www.patreon, that's patreon.com/ELASM, and it will be behind a paywall. You'll still get this for free, but you'll get some other stuff. I don't know what exactly I'll do. Depends on how popular it is. I'm not going to be doing that for nothing. But what happens is money raised goes back into me buying better audio equipment. I need another laptop. I need a computer that I can do proper video editing and things like that with. I'm at the limits of the technology that I've got, and I can't compete. If you'd like to send a postcard, you can do so, because I'm paying a lot of money for a post office box, and just a single postcard justifies me having it. Shane Lockwood, P.O. Box 1067, Salisbury, that's SALISBURY, space, capital S, capital A, Australia, and I will write to you back if you include a return address on the postcard, and that would be great. And I'll read your name out and things like that. I'm not beyond giving out shout outs. Oh, okay. There's a game called Ingress. It's a free app. It's INGRESS. Download it for your phone. It's absolutely free. I've got a minute left. Oh, that was the code word. The code word. The code word is the word GLADE. 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 This is why you have like a notepad and paper handy. And I'm coming up to the 29-minute mark. Yeah, Ingress is a game that I've started playing on my phone. There's another game called Munzie, MUNZEE, and I'll talk about that in next week's show. I'm coming up to 30 seconds to go, and I hope that today is easy, and I hope that today, hang on, 20 seconds to go, let's do this properly. I hope that today and the rest of today, the rest of the week, is easy like a Sunday morn. Bye. Bye for now. See you next week.